what we're looking at is groups, which is a working title we're calling knowledge and context groups, which effectively fulfil almost all of the current remits of divisions, special groups, sections, faculties and interest groups. And we're looking at ways that we can facilitate merging of some of those groups into groups that make sense to their members. But there is an area of work which over a number of years has emerged in each of the divisions very specifically. And that is something we're broadly terming professional body. What we mean by that is two things. We mean the public influencing strategy, and we mean support for members at a kind of local and even individual level. We've had quite a lot of feedback, and what our members are saying to us is that they want an organisation which advocates for the profession and the contribution that it makes. They want us to be working hard to make sure that the policymakers and commissioners and government understand that they need psychology and what they need to have in terms of psychology provision for the public good. They want us to promote the standards and guidance in the context in which psychologists work. Now, that can be anything from a university which is trying to encourage its academics to ignore BPS ethical standards, which is a case that recently I've been approached about. Or it could be about a commissioner of service not understanding what they need in terms of psychology expertise and provision for particular kinds of services. It could be something that's at a national level, or it could be something that's quite specifically related to a local need. But our members want us to be doing that. They want us to promote effective workplaces, and they want us to promote the standards for best practice. We know that our members are demanding that because we've had feedback from divisional representatives through the consultation workshops that we've run. We've had feedback through a number of consultation exercises. We've had informal feedback from members just contacting us about issues that they're having. And then, of course, the Division of Clinical Psychology also ran its survey, which provided a lot of qualitative data, which we did plough through to pick out these themes that the members were saying this is what they want from the professional body. We know that currently we're not very effective at it, and there's a number of reasons that we think that is. Its own professional support, where it exists, has evolved as a function in some divisions, but not all. And those divisions are operating in isolation from each other. That might mean that in some areas a commissioner is getting 4 different people giving them slightly different advice about what good looks like in psychology services. That's a confusing message and it doesn't serve us well. We also know that boards and networks produce policy statements and guidance documents, but we don't actually have the resource to promote those at the moment at the local level. That isn't something that we've prioritised. We've made them available, and there's been some work done through our policy consultants to promote those at the national level, but that isn't filtering down, and we've kind of left members to do that for themselves. So, we have looked at 4 different options for a professional body function. I should emphasise that in terms of the national picture, we envisage the Public Affairs Board that Nicola talked about earlier as being absolutely key in driving forward that national strategy, in the maximising the impact of psychology at the national level in each of the 4 nations. And that the promotion through our policy consultants and our policy team to actually push forward those priority areas. But there's also something to do at the local level in terms of actual support to our members where they are. So we did look at just actually having a staffed unit that had the responsibility of doing that, of being available to go and support members locally for building relationships and so forth with commissioners and trust managers and those things. But we got a very strong sense that members felt they wanted to be able to join the network and have a say in the running of the network that would be doing that. We looked at the other end of the scale as setting up an arm's length body as a kind of PLC that would be free of some of the charity constraints but would be able to operate quite independently. In the end, we felt that the benefit from that model didn't outweigh the risks, and by risks I mean the security of the resourcing for it. So it's still on the table, but it's not our preferred option. We looked at the possibility of actually just giving those networks that are predominantly for practitioner members, giving them that responsibility for their members. But the drawback for that is that we still have the duplication. The resource to support that is therefore spread thinly across all of those networks. And we still get the issue with getting 5 different messages being given to the same policymaker, who, if confused by that, is likely to ignore them all. So what we're recommending is a single professional body network that members can join, chartered members can join, that will be supported by a dedicated staffed unit. And this bit here about making use of the branch structure, we don't mean that it's delivered through the branches. What we mean is we know that our branches as a repository of local expertise can inform the work. So what we hope the outcome of that would be that the function will be consolidated in one unit, and that allows us to get the best from the expertise and the resource that we've got there. It allows for that more consistent approach. And by having it as a network that any chartered members can join, we can have those discussions in-house about what the message should be and hear all the voices and then give a message, even if it's quite a complex message, give one message out to the people we need to influence about local policy. So that's all I want to say about the professional body bit. The other thing we wanted to highlight was that this is part of a process. We haven't got to the end of that process yet. So we know we need to review our decision-making and operational processes. That will involve us having a structure that makes sense and processes that are designed for the structure that we have, not tried to impose something from a different model onto what the structure that we eventually agree on. We need to look again at our financial and subscription models and make sure that they actually support driving the business of the society forward, as opposed to perhaps being a barrier, which they could be if they're not designed specifically for the structure that we are developing. And we also need to review our governing documents to make sure that they fit the modern purposes of the society, to make sure that they enable us to move forward over the next 50 years to deliver the kind of society that we want to deliver. So.
Well, I think what matters to us at the moment is trying to get a good shape for the future society, and doing that in a way that brings you, our members, with us, and actually builds a solid platform for the future. And that's why we're here. So, can I just say thank you very much for your time and for your contributions? Very, very helpful. Thank you.